remember what was viscosity? What was viscosity? Yes, guys, viscosity. Let's talk about that first. Viscosity. Spelling, I don't know, right? I've messed up with this spelling. Sahanas is also joining. Okay, see. So, yes, guys, any idea? Just a little bit of idea about viscosity. What is this? Any small idea? Then we proceed, guys. Yes. Are nobody's talking. Hello. Take out your hands from the blanket.
The force which opposes the motion of liquid.
Very good. Opposes motion
of the
liquid. Very good. It's like friction. Yes. It's like friction. And when we talk when we talk about friction in liquids, no, we imagine that the liquid is flowing in the form of layers. Okay, one layer on top of another layer. It's like liquid layers are opposing the motion of each other. Okay, so that is what we have learned. Yes. What else, guys? Yes. Anything else you want to speak about? How do we determine which liquid is more viscous, and how we determine which liquid is less viscous? How do we do that? Anybody who has idea? Yes. Speak. Rajiv can speak. Switch on your mic, Ishita. Don't be lazy. How do we talk about?
By the coefficient of viscosity.
Coefficient of viscosity. Yes, correct. We determine, right? Okay, we determine how viscous a liquid is. Okay, how viscous a liquid is by knowing something called coefficient of viscosity. Okay, anybody who can quickly define to me how viscosity is related to the flow of liquids, or coefficient of viscosity? What was the formula, if you remember? We have written in terms of viscous force. Do you remember this F? We call it viscous force acting between the layers is equal to how much? Depends on what? That's what I'm asking actually. Depends on? Yes.
Eta into velocity gradient into area.
Eta, yes, correct. Okay, we have eta into velocity gradient, that is dv by dx, the change of velocity with layers. Okay, with the distance between the separation between the layers. Okay, yes, correct. And also the area. Okay, this is how we have written the viscous force. Okay, the viscous force depends upon velocity gradient. More is the change of velocity as we move up or down. Okay, that means the liquid is more viscous. More is the viscous force. If the area between the layers, right, is very big, right? If the area is small, you have less viscous force. If the area is big, you have more viscous force. That is what we've learned. And of course, this eta, right? This eta depends on the nature of the liquid, right? Some liquids have less viscosity, some have high viscosity. Okay. Now let me quickly talk about this coefficient of viscosity, not definition. I want to talk about the SI unit, okay? Because in Stokes' law, we will need that. Okay. So check how am I writing this formula here. See, eta can be written as force divided by velocity gradient, and I have area. This is how I'm going to write the coefficient of viscosity. Okay. So what is the unit of force, guys? The unit of force is newtons. Unit of velocity gradient is meter per second divided by meter, because dx is measured in meters, area is measured in meters square. No, so our units are going to look like this. Okay, let me cancel some of them. Meter gets cancelled here, and then when I check this, right? Okay, what is this Newton per meter square, guys? What can I write? This is Newton per meter square, but also have divided by second inverse. Okay, so how do you think we can still write it?
Pressure per second.
Yes, this is Newton per meter square is like pressure units. No? So I can write here pascals, right? Newton per meter square is pascals. The second inverse can go up and become just seconds. Okay, so Pascal second, please remember this. Okay, so Pascal second is a SI unit. Okay, SI unit of coefficient of viscosity. Okay, I also want to find the dimension of coefficient of viscosity, because we will need it. Okay, so just check how to do it. I'll talk about that, but first very quickly I'll talk about what are the values for different liquids. Okay, see, for water I'm going to write, for blood I'm going to write, and let's write for honey also. Okay, for honey, and you know the meaning by now. Okay, see guys, if the coefficient of viscosity for the liquid is very, very high, it means the liquid is not going to move very smoothly. Okay, it's going to have disturbance, not disturbance, but let's say opposition to the flow of that liquid will be very very high, no? So example for water, okay, they have given temperature also. I'm not going to talk about temperature right now, but for water it's about 1.0 pascals second. For blood, what do you think, guys? For blood it is same like water, or it is not same? What do you think? Viscosity coefficient different. Water and blood, they don't flow at the same rate, no? They cannot have same kind of motion. Okay, so blood is like slower. What do you think? Slower or faster?
Slower.
If I apply force on water and blood, slower. Okay, so what do you think is coefficient of viscosity will be same or higher? Higher. It's around 2.7 pascals. Okay, 2.7 pascals second. Then what about honey? Do you think honey and blood are almost same, or honey is much more sticky?
Much more sticky.
Much more sticky. Okay, imagine 200 pascals second. That's the value. Okay, so you can compare. Okay, so that's all about right now the values. Okay, the coefficient of viscosity. Let's talk about the dimension of coefficient of viscosity. We will need it. Okay, so I'm going to write a dimension of coefficient of viscosity will be equal to, check, the dimension of force divided by dimension of velocity gradient. I have to write the dimension of these, then dimension of area. Okay, so when I do that, okay, let's write the dimension of force, that is m l t minus 2. If I'm making a mistake, you can correct me. The dimension of velocity is m, no m, velocity is l t minus 1 for velocity, by dx is l. Okay, there's a dimension of velocity gradient, and area is of course is l square. Okay, so when I again cancel these, right, I can cancel these two, then I can take this on top. Okay, so it's going to look like this. See, I will take that on top, I will take the t minus 2 also, minus 1 also on top, so it's going to look like this. Check, m is going to be there, then can you help me out? L to the power 1 we already have, but this one when it goes up it will be minus 2 or plus 2?
-2.
Minus 2, yes. Okay, and when the t is already there, that is minus 2, but when this t goes up here, okay, this t, which is minus 1, no, it will become how much? Plus 1. Okay, so what is the dimension of coefficient of viscosity? Tell me now, guys. It is m
L
minus 1 t minus 1.
Okay, so you can remember this by heart, okay, because it is needed in MBOS. Okay, in MBOS, CBSE both needed. Please remember this, because they might just ask you for half mark or 1 mark. Even we need this for a derivation. Okay, in exam time, please remember this by heart. Okay, by heart. Okay, I know you can do it. Okay, this one is easy. ml minus 1 t minus 1. Okay, so what is Stokes law? Till now I have not talked about Stokes law, so let's talk about Stokes law. Okay, see, important, what they will ask you, I'll just quickly tell you what they can ask you from here. Okay, the first thing they'll ask you is of course the statement of Stokes law. The second thing is they will ask you to prove Stokes law. Okay, the proof, we are going to follow a method of dimensions, so not going to be difficult, but let's talk about Stokes law right now. See, Stokes law is this. Okay, see, if I have a liquid, this is a liquid. Okay, the liquid may be static, may be moving, doesn't matter right now. Okay, maybe static liquid, doesn't matter, static liquid. Okay, let's be clear. Okay, the liquid is static, but it is such a liquid, okay, which has viscosity. Okay, so the coefficient of viscosity for this liquid is eta, and I think you can understand, right? If it is honey, I have to write 200. If it is water, I have to write 1. If it is blood, I have to write 2.7. Okay, so it can be any liquid. It is any liquid. Now imagine I have a spherical body. It is only applied to spherical bodies. Okay, this is Stokes law. Not very big, a small one. So I'm drawing that spherical body. The spherical body that I've drawn, okay, it is it has a radius of small r. I think you can understand that. There's a small spherical body, and you can already understand, right? That's this spherical body. Okay, this spherical body wants to move. Okay, this is trying to move in this liquid. Move in this liquid. Now I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Okay, what do you think, guys? Will this body, okay, which is spherical body, trying to move in this liquid, okay, will it be moving freely, or it will depend on the liquid that's trying to move on?
Depend on the liquid.
Depend on the liquid. Okay, and you can directly tell me very nicely, right, easily, in which liquid do you think it is going to be easier for it to move?
With less coefficient of viscosity.
The liquid, right, which has less coefficient of viscosity. Imagine this spherical body trying to move in water. Imagine this spherical body trying to move in honey, right? Obviously, it will be easier for this liquid to move in water compared to honey, okay, because honey is going to oppose it. honey does not only oppose the motion of its own layers, okay, it is going to oppose anything which wants to move on those layers, no? So that's why coefficient of viscosity is going to play an important role, okay? And Stokes is exactly talking about that. See, I'm going to write an F here which represents viscous force. Let's be clear, this is now again what force? Viscous force, but this time it is not between the layers, okay? Now this is the viscous force acting. I'm talking about Stokes law, okay? Acting on the spherical body. The viscous force acting on the spherical body, okay? Stokes found out this, see. He found out that this viscous force directly depends upon, what do you think? Depends on coefficient of viscosity or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Coefficient of viscosity. He also noticed the power. Notice the power. Here's 1, okay? Then, you know what? He took a bigger object. You know what he found out? The bigger object, what do you think? Will face opposition or will face more opposition?
More opposition.
That means it depends on what? The radius. Okay, the bigger the body is, it's going to face more opposition, or let's say more resistive force or viscous force. Okay, so he saw that R should also be there, okay, where eta is the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid, R is the radius of the spherical body which wants to move in this viscous fluid. And one more thing, okay, look at this. If I have comparison, okay, between two spherical bodies, just check, you will understand. I have a body here and I have an identical body, but the first body wants to move with a velocity, let's say v1, and the second body wants to move very fast, v2, okay. Now look at the comparison, see. Do you agree that the molecules in front, right, of this liquid, and here also the molecules are in front of that spherical body, if the body is trying to move very fast, I'm repeating again, okay, if the body who's trying to move very fast in this liquid will face opposition or will face more opposition, what do you think?
More opposition.
Opposition is this force, okay, the opposing force, right, which doesn't let it move, okay. I think you got my point, okay, because when the body moves slowly, no, it's going to hit the molecules in front and not so many molecules per second. But when this same spherical body wants to move very fast, I'm repeating again, when the spherical body wants to move very fast in such a liquid, it is going to hit more molecules per second in front of it. That's why those molecules will apply a resistive force, or let's say viscous force. So what do you think? The viscous force acting on the spherical body depends on the velocity or not, guys?
Yes, sir.
Depends on the velocity, okay. So Stokes found out that again the power is what? 1, okay, to the power 1. So now I'm going to write the exact formula. It looks like this, with a constant here known from experiments. I cannot say much about that constant, but the constant is found to be 6 pi, okay, 6 pi eta RV. This is your Stokes law. And let's be clear, okay, let's be clear with everything. Please tell me, guys, what is this F? Be clear with everything, okay, one by one. What is this F? Yeah, speak, you have to speak, guys. Are speak. Viscous force acting on what?
On a
Acting on?
spherical
Acting on a spherical body, yes. Spherical body, a solid body, solid spherical body, yes. Depends on what?
coefficient of
Coefficient of viscosity of what?
of the liquid.
Of the liquid in which this spherical body wants to move. It also depends on what?
Radius of
Radius
the
of the spherical body.
Radius of the spherical body. There's nothing like radius of the liquid, okay. So of course radius of the spherical body, bigger is the spherical body, more resistive force is going to face. And what is this V?
Velocity of the spherical body.
Velocity of the spherical body. Don't think this is the velocity of the liquid. No, it is the velocity of the spherical body. I can give you one more example, okay. Look at this. If this is a air, okay, even for air we can apply this, no? Air also has certain amount of viscosity, okay. So air, imagine you are trying to fall down. This is, I don't know, this is who? Sangam, okay. Sangam is falling down, okay. What will happen? What do you think? Will Sangam just fall down, or air will apply a resistive force?
air will apply.
Yeah, air will also apply. Air will also apply a resistive force. Will not let it fall so easily. Okay, so it's not going to let it accelerate so much. Okay, So you can apply this, okay. Later we'll see, we are applying this only, okay. Later in that terminal velocity is all about this only. So you will see even that there also coefficient of viscosity is going to play a role, okay. Okay, now how do we prove it? I told you that's the question they used to ask, no? Statement and prove, okay. So we will do it very quickly, very easy. And I told you we are going to follow a method of what? Method of dimensions to prove this one, okay. Yeah, I've already sent you the note for this. Please check, okay. If you did not get, you can ask me again. I'll send you, okay. So how to prove Stokes law? See, very simple. According to what we have learned, right, the viscous force depends directly on what? Coefficient of viscosity. Let's write power we don't know. Let's call it. Okay, let me not write this one first. According to the notes, I'm writing R first. So radius of the spherical body to the power A. Coefficient of viscosity to the power B and velocity of the spherical body to the power C. I think you understand this one, right? This is a method of dimension, right? This is how we generate a formula, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is our starting. Okay, now we just fill up F is equal to what? We write a constant K, R to the power A, eta to the power B, and velocity to the power C. Okay, okay, now tell me, how do we use this method, guys? We are going to write dimensions on both sides, no? So what's the dimension of F, guys? It is M
MLT minus
2, that's the dimension on the left hand side, equals to, this K doesn't have dimension, so nothing to worry about that. So R has what dimension, guys? R is the radius,
L
L to the power A. Eta, we have learned the dimension of eta, right? What is that?
ML minus 1
ml minus
T
1, t minus 1. Yes, you have learned it, okay, I hope so. Okay, then velocity is very easy. Okay, we have to write to the power B here, and velocity Lt minus 1 to the power C. Okay, okay, let's arrange all the terms on the right hand side, because left hand side is going to be the same, this one only. Copy, paste. Okay, waiting. Okay, help me out. M, for M what should I write, guys, on the right hand side? Check.
to the power B.
M to the power B, nothing else. I don't think so we have any more M. So M to the power B, oops, M to the power B. L to the power how much? L has a power A here, L has
A
a
minus
power
B plus C.
minus B and
minus B
Plus C.
plus
plus
C.
C. Okay, so L has a power A, minus B and plus
Plus
C.
C.
Okay,
Plus C.
what about T? Check, you can check T and tell me.
Minus
Minus B minus
Minus
C.
B, minus B and minus C.
Minus.
Okay, yeah, so we got all the powers that we want. Okay, and since dimensionally it has to be correct, whatever formula we write, so we are going to equate. Okay, this power on the left hand side is 1, 1 and minus 2, so we are going to equate to the powers on the right hand side of all the dimensions that we have, no, mass, length and time. Okay, so you tell me now, if when we equate, what do we get? M to the power B, M to the power 1, that means your B must be
B is
equal
equal
to
to 1.
1.
is equal to
Yes, okay. On the right hand side, L means to the power A minus B plus C, and L on the left hand side is what power?
1
1. So it must be equal to 1. And on the right hand side, T is how much? Minus B minus C. And T on the left hand side is minus 2. So
Minus
should be
2.
equal to minus 2. I think you understand the steps.
Yes.
Okay. Now the
Yes.
first thing, the only thing I can do right now is, because we know B, I will come and put it here, right? We cannot put in the middle one, okay? So I'm going to get how much? Minus 1 minus C equals to minus 2. So minus C will be equal to minus 2 plus 1. So minus C will be equal to minus 1. So C will be equal to how much?
1.
Okay, so we got B equals to 1, we got C equals to 1. Now we come back here, right? So what is this? A minus 1 plus 1 equal to 1. That means A must be equal to what? 1.
One.
Okay, and that is your Stokes law, right? The power of eta RV is what? 1, 1 and 1. So
One.
we have proved that, okay? So you'll come back here, right? You'll come back here, you'll write F is equal to some constant. Then you write eta to the power 1, sorry, R to the power 1, eta to the power 1 and velocity to the power 1. Okay, so I think this was easy, okay? Because you had at least memorized the dimension for coefficient of viscosity. Other things so you already know, okay? So I think I can say, right, this is fine, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay, so this is fine, okay? Okay, now see. Now numerical problem, okay? I don't know you have checked the notes or not, but let me quickly talk about this numerical, okay? Now this one, I cannot talk about this numerical right now because you have to do terminal velocity. I think we can go to the terminal velocity topic, okay, very quickly. Let me quickly check if I can give you any numericals from here. Okay, no, not possible right now, no, I think. Okay, this one I've already given, please do it, okay. Okay, terminal velocity, now this is easy, okay, check. I'm not going to do much here, but just explain to you the basics of terminal velocity, okay. See, next question is this. The question they will ask you is what is terminal velocity? That's the first thing, and you have to find the expression or formula for terminal velocity. Okay, and then plus one numerical I think should be good enough if needed. Okay, embossed you don't even use to ask. Okay, okay. By the way, I think you can understand, right, by this formula, no? If they ask you, okay, if the spherical body has double radius, what kind of viscous force will be acting on it? Same or double viscous force? Double, right?
Double.
Because the formula is F equals to 6 pi eta RV. Okay, all the powers are 1, 1, 1. So if velocity is doubled, viscous force becomes double. If the radius is double, viscous force is doubled. If the coefficient of viscosity also doubled, of course, then the viscous force will be doubled. Okay, linearly dependent. That's the meaning of that, no? With power 1. Okay, now see terminal velocity. Let's try to understand this idea. Okay, see imagine this is happening. Okay, imagine this is a fluid here. I can apply this concept to air also. So this is your fluid, let it be any fluid. Okay, it has coefficient of viscosity eta. Okay, so you know what this coefficient does. Okay, it disturbs the motion of not only its own layers but any other object also which is trying to flow or move on this fluid. Okay, we know about that. Okay, we have now learned Stokes law also. Okay, now try to understand this. Okay, we can just take an example of air only, but let's say it's a liquid right now. Okay, that will be I think much easier, or I don't know which one should I take. Okay, let's just take any liquid. Okay, okay, I again have a spherical body here. Okay, say this is spherical body, same spherical body, but I also bring gravity this time. Okay, and it's trying to flow, not flow, sorry, it's trying to fall. I think you have noticed this, right? Okay, any solid can fall into a liquid, right, or a fluid, no?
Yes, sir.
It can fall into a air also or any liquid. Okay, now you think and tell me. Okay, this solid that I have, does it have mass or not? Yes, it has mass m. This solid will also have density. Let's call it how much? Rho is the density, and radius of this solid, let's take it what? R.
R.
Okay, now you think and tell me. Okay, the moment we are not applying any force. Okay, we're just dropping it. Okay, drop. Don't force, apply force and make it go down. Okay, no need to apply force, just release it. Okay, so gravity is going to pull it down, and the acceleration due to gravity we already know it's how much? G. Okay, now you tell me, will its weight be changing as it falls from here to here? Will its weight change or not change? Will its weight change or not change?
So change.
Think again. Forget about everything else.
So not change.
No, weight is not going to change, no, because acceleration due to gravity is always how much?
9.8.
9.8. So it's weight. Okay, let me just write. Weight is equal to how much? M into
Energy.
M into G. Okay. Can I write in terms of density and volume? Yes, we can do that. How do we write? Mass can be replaced by density is mass by volume. So I have to multiply density and volume to get mass, no? So density into volume. Density into volume will be how much? 4 by 3
3 pi r cube.
pi r cube. That's the volume. So I have replaced, you know what? I have replaced mass by volume into density. It's a spherical body, so 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, and G we have that. Okay, so we got the weight of the solid object. Okay, spherical body, which is trying to fall down. Okay, fine. Now you tell me, what does this weight do? It just does it accelerate the object or not? This weight.
Yes, sir.
It accelerates. What is the meaning of acceleration? Acceleration means what? The velocity will be same or velocity will increase?
Velocity.
Velocity will increase.
Velocity will increase as it drops down. Okay, velocity increases. Okay, but you also have to understand. Okay, the liquid or the fluid that I'm taking, I'm repeating again, the liquid or the fluid I'm taking also has a density, right? It has particles, so it will have density. Okay, that density I'm going to call it sigma. I think you are clear with what is sigma, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is the density of what? Density of fluid. Okay, now you think and tell me. Okay, which density do you think should be large if it wants to drop? Whose density should be large?
Of the ball.
Of the ball. Okay, of the spherical body, right? Density of this one should be greater than. Okay, it cannot fall into a liquid which is more dense than it. Okay, so no chance, no, that is not going to happen. Okay, then. Okay, now see. Let's look at some of the forces that will act. Okay, I think you'll directly agree with me that all these molecules, the liquid molecules, do you agree that after reaching this solid spherical object, after reaching certain point, okay, can I say that right now it has gained a velocity? Can I call it v? Are you clear what is v? Because at this point, no, called a, that's the point, this is a point b, okay, in a location called a, right, it's just dropped from there. So what is the velocity, guys, there? How much? 0. I think you'll agree with me there on that, right? Just dropped from there, no?
Yes, sir.
Just release. So the velocity is 0 there. But after reaching certain point called b, okay, will the velocity be 0 or not equal to 0? Not equal to 0, okay. So if I ask you at point A, here, okay, here, what do you think? Does it experience any viscous force or no viscous force? I'm talking about Stokes' law. No?
No.
The opposition will not be there. No viscous force. Why? Because it's moving with 0 velocity.
Zero velocity.
Zero velocity. And we have learned something. If an object does not have velocity, it cannot be opposed by the liquid molecules or the fluid molecules. No? So that is your Stokes' law, right? It has to have a velocity so that it faces some opposition. Okay. Okay. Let's come back here again. Okay. I think you can understand now. At point B, at any point like B, right? So there is viscous force or no viscous force?
There is viscous force.
Yeah.
There is
There's
viscous force. Okay. Can you tell me the formula for viscous force and the direction of viscous force? Let's just call it F right now. Okay. Direction of viscous force will be down or upwards?
Upwards.
It will be against the motion, right? It will be against the motion. It will try to oppose the motion. Okay. This viscous force, don't forget, is acting on the spherical body. So what is the viscous force? Tell me, guys. You know the formula. 6 pi
Pi
eta r. Very good. Okay. And v. Okay. At any point of time, this is the viscous force, and it is directed upwards. Upwards. Okay. So this is quite okay, right?
Yes. sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's one more force that's going to oppose it. I'm going to show you what is that. Okay. Now don't forget this. Okay, what do you think? Is this a constant or it increases, this viscous force, as the object is going to go down and down?
Increasing.
Increases. This object is going to go from point A to point B. It's going down and down. It's going to accelerate. It becomes higher and higher. The velocity becomes higher and higher. Okay. So this force, the viscous force, is not a constant.
Not a
Okay.
constant.
And you can understand it increases or decreases. It increases. This opposition, okay, this upward force, the opposition force increases and increases. Okay. So we know about this F. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you. Okay. Do you think this molecules, they're moving or not moving? The molecules of this medium or the liquid or the fluid, they're moving or not moving? Yes. Simple question. If it's a fluid, two options. Either it can be what? Gas, or it can be
Liquid.
Liquid.
liquid. Gas molecules, what do you think? They at rest or they move continuously?
Move continuously.
Liquid molecules also, what do you think? They are at rest or they move continuously?
Move continuously.
Move continuously. Okay. So do you agree that these molecules, they'll move and they'll move and they will move and they will go and hit this spherical object or not? Even if the molecule, the spherical object is not moving, I'm repeating, even if the spherical object is not moving, the molecules of this medium will go and hit the spherical body. Right. And this force is called upthrust. I think you know this one, right? This is what we call it upthrust. Are you clear with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you just take surface of water also, right? Just put your hands, okay? Very bad diagram, sorry. Let me draw properly. Sangam's hand, okay? So see, if you just put your hand, okay, try to rest it on surface of water also. You know what will happen? The water molecules, they will come and hit you. Okay? And this upward force, another name is there, no? Buoyancy also we call it, right?
Yes. sir.
No. Okay. Whatever it is, but the molecules of the water, right, or the air or anything, right, will go and hit your hands. So this is an upward force. Okay, that is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So now think and tell me, this upward thrust also acts on this object or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This upward thrust also acts on the object. Okay, it's a force. Okay, even weight is a force. Don't forget, this weight is also what?
A
Weight is
force.
also force, a downward force. Upthrust is a upward force. This Stokes viscous force is also upward force. Okay. Okay, now let's talk about upthrust. What will be the formula? Check. This is the main part here right now. Okay. See how am I writing? This upthrust, let's call it U equals to. I'm going to write. Okay, I'm going to ask you. What do you think? This upthrust depends on what? Density of the solid or the density of the fluid?
Of the fluid.
Imagine the fluid particles are very, very dense. They have more mass per unit volume. Very dense fluid or liquid I've taken. Now you think the spherical body will experience upthrust or more upthrust?
More upthrust.
More upthrust. So upthrust will act on the so upthrust will act on the spherical body, but it depends on the density of what? Of the fluid.
Of the fluid.
Of the fluid. Okay, so I'm going to write here, see, sigma here. Okay, sigma. Now you must be thinking, why am I writing sigma? Okay, because force is not equal to density, of course, but we know force can be written as what? Density into
Volume.
Okay, and we can write G. Can you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is a way to write upthrust actually. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to show you. So when I write now, okay, just check, see. So what volume should I write? Should I write the volume of the liquid or the volume of that solid? What do you think?
Solid.
Think
Volume of solid.
volume of solid, okay, because the upthrust will act only on to this volume. The upthrust will not act anywhere else. Okay, the upward force will act on this volume. Okay, so I'm going to write the volume of the solid. So what is that? 4 by 3 pi
4 by 3 pi r
r cube. Okay, and of course we have G. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, okay, tell me this upthrust changes or doesn't changes or remains constant?
Constant.
It remains constant.
constant.
This upthrust does not depend on what? Does not depend upon velocity of the solid, okay, or the spherical body. Okay, so it is going to remain constant. Okay, now I am going to write all the forces. Okay, see. So please try to understand this diagram now. See, this is the spherical body. It is trying to go down. It is going to accelerate down because a force is acting on it downwards, and that force is called weight. Everybody's clear with this one? No, check. Yes. At any point of time, it is moving with a velocity called v. So it experiences an upward force by Stokes' law that is equal to how much? Viscous force, let's call it F. We know the formula, 6 pi eta r v. This is the upward force trying to oppose that weight. Okay, then tell me, there's another force we have learned today, right? What is that? Upthrust. Okay, upthrust also acts in the same direction of what? Viscous force, huh? So upthrust. Okay, now you tell me which of these, okay, forces they help and which of the forces they resist the motion, the downward motion of the body? Which forces they resist?
Upthrust and viscous
Upthrust
force.
and
Viscous
viscous
force.
force, they resist the motion of this body, okay, going down. Okay, so now these two will add up. Okay, these two forces will add up. These two forces will add up and trying to accelerate or decrease the acceleration. What do you think?
Decrease that.
Decrease the acceleration. Okay, now think about this. Okay, so suppose I dropped it. I just dropped it. Okay, you know how will the motion take place? It's going to go down, accelerate, and as it going down and down, something is increasing continuously. What is that? Velocity. So your viscous force will continuously increase. Okay, so I'm going to write an equation. Look at this. W, then you have U plus F. At the beginning, do you agree this is going to be greater than that or not? At the beginning.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Why? Because the object really accelerates. Accelerates in which direction? Downwards. It's really moving down. It's becoming faster and faster. V increases. Okay, so the object is really accelerating. That means the weight in total, right? Okay, whatever weight it has, it must be greater than what? The upthrust and the viscous force combined. I think this part is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
and does the weight increases or doesn't increase?
Doesn't it?
It doesn't increase. It's just moving down. How can the weight increase? No. Okay. So weight doesn't increase. What about upthrust? Does it increase or doesn't increase? As the object is going down. As the object is going down and down, doesn't increase, but something increases. What is that?
Viscous force.
The viscous force increases. Okay. Because the viscous force increases. Now, what do you think? The weight will be larger. Okay, yes, the weight will be larger, but a time will come, no? The viscous force will be so large that your right hand side is increasing in this equation, okay? Can you understand? A time will come, right?
Yes.
Okay, because velocity is increased so much that your viscous force is increased so much that the weight now, okay, will be what? Can become equal to what? Total of what and what?
Total of upthrust and viscous force.
Upthrust and viscous force after reaching certain point. Okay, now you tell me the upward force and downward force are different or same now at such a location, such a point.
Same.
Same. The total downward force equals to what? Total upward force. Okay? After reaching certain velocity. Okay. Now the object. Okay. Now the object. The total upward force, downward force will be equal to total downward force. Okay. Upward force. Okay. So equal. Now you tell me, will there be acceleration or zero acceleration of the body now?
Zero acceleration.
Now the acceleration will become zero. Now the velocity will continue to rise or now cannot increase anymore.
We cannot increase.
Now the velocity cannot increase. Are you clear with this idea, guys? Velocity cannot increase anymore.
Yes.
Did everyone understand? Did everyone understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
because
sir.
after a certain point of time, the viscous force increases. So the upward force is continuously rising, okay, and the weight is not rising. So both sides they become equal after a certain time. Now the velocity cannot increase anymore, okay, because total force acting on the spherical body is zero now. Force is zero, okay, velocity is not zero, force is zero, okay. This velocity now that it has gained as it falls, right? This velocity is what we know as what velocity, guys? What am I writing? Terminal velocity. Are you clear with this idea? And we can represent by what formula? Vt. Okay. I hope you understand this one. So now we just have to plug in the formulas that we have already written. Okay. For all of them we have written. So we're just going to plug in there and we're going to get the formula for Vt. Okay. So help me out, guys. What do I write for weight? Weight. Density, right? Density 4 by 3 pi
3 pi r cube
and I have to write G.
into G.
Okay. Equals to upthrust was how much, guys? Sigma, if you remember.
Sigma
4
4
by
by
3
4 by 3 pi
pi r
r cube.
cube and G, yes, and plus the terminal velocity, sorry, viscous force. 6 bar
Y,
pi
eta
eta
r v. But this time I have to write just it is just any velocity or it is the maximum velocity now gained by the object as is dropping. Maximum, because after it cannot increase anymore because it's equal. Check, this is equal. Now that means total upward and downward force are same. That means no more acceleration. So this velocity gained, after which there is no acceleration, right? We call it terminal velocity. Okay, it happens with parachute also, no? When you open the parachute, okay, you have never opened, I know, okay. Then what happens, guys? Does the parachute becomes faster and faster, or it keeps falling with a constant velocity?
Constant.
Constant. Okay, it cannot accelerate because the upthrust, right? The upthrust and the viscous force will act in such a way that it cannot, it won't let you accelerate anymore. Okay, so I hope you understand that point. Okay, I think from here, I think you can easily get the formula for what?
Vt.
Vt. Okay, so we just need to arrange, so you can check very easily. I can take it to the left hand side. If I take it to the left hand side, how it's going to look like, guys? Rho minus sigma,
sigma
and then we have 4 pi.
4 by 3 pi r cube.
Pi r cube.
Pi r cube.
G is also there and equals to 6 pi eta r
Eta
Vt.
r Vt.
Okay, then we can still cancel some of the things here. Pi and pi can get cancel. R here can be cancelled here with a square here. That is what we can do. Then what else, guys? 6 also, no? 6 and this one is how much? 2. And what should I write here? 3. This 3 can go down with that 3 and become 9. Okay, so how much will I get? Can you tell me? Rho minus sigma, then 2 by 9. I have r square. If you notice, we have r square and we have G equals to what? Eta
Eta into Vt.
into Vt, and you can just take this eta on this side down here, okay, with the 9, no? So now this is the formula, right? Okay, so this is the formula for what, guys? Tell me properly.
Terminal velocity.
Terminal velocity.
Terminal velocity for solid or any solid or a spherical solid.
A spherical
A spherical solid which is trying to fall down, right? Which is trying to fall down in a liquid or in a liquid of how much viscosity? Eta. Okay, and that liquid has how much density? Sigma, and the solid has how much density?
Rho.
Okay, and you can already understand, right? In which kind of liquid it will gain more terminal velocity? A very high viscous liquid or less viscous liquid?
Less viscous.
Less viscous. Like of course, if a ball is trying to go down honey and a ball is trying to go down water, obviously, in which case it will gain more terminal velocity.
In water.
In
Water.
water, yes, because it has less coefficient of viscosity. Okay, and then of course let's compare density. Okay, imagine more dense and less dense. No, so which one? What do you think? Is if the
Yes.
spherical body is trying to, yeah, if the spherical, okay, by the way, this is a nice thing to understand. In which kind of liquid the solid object is will try to attain more terminal velocity? In those kind of liquids where the density or the density difference is very high.
Density difference is very high.
Yeah, the solid and the liquid, they should have very high density difference.
Density difference.
And in that case only, right, it is going to really attain a very high terminal velocity. Okay, I think you got the idea. Okay, but can this terminal velocity be negative or not? Tell me, guys, looking at the formula. Can it be negative?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
if
sir.
sigma is greater than
Rho.
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 And what does it mean? It means that the liquid or the fluid is more dense than what?
The solid
In
state.
spherical body.
Then the spherical body, then obviously, right, instead of going down, the spherical body will go up. Okay, that's the meaning of negative velocity, no? So that is what does it mean? Okay, then what do you think if rho minus sigma, right, is equal to 0? That means, is there any density or no density difference?
No density.
No density.
No density difference. That's the meaning of that. Okay, they want to ask you, and of course after that, okay, but you realize what will be terminal velocity?
0.
Zero.
And what does it mean, terminal velocity 0?
The ball won't go
The ball won't.
inside or up,
Very good. The ball is not going to go up also, the ball is not going to go
down also.
down also. Okay, that is the meaning of this. It will just remain in that medium, but it will not go up or it will not go down. Okay, if that difference is not there. Okay, then I think I can give you one numerical for this. I think that will be it, and you please study. Okay, one more thing. What do you think will happen to terminal velocity if the temperature increases? What do you think? If the temperature increases,
So it will increase.
terminal velocity will increase. Are you sure? Imagine, okay, this is air, and I've increased the temperature. Okay, this is a question for everyone, huh? If I increase the temperature and the ball wants to drop down, no other conditions have been changed. Okay, only the temperature has been raised. What do you think? Now these gases, okay, what do you think? Think a bit.
Sir, it will increase because the density of liquid is
Reduces.
decreasing.
Density decrease. No, density doesn't change. Density doesn't change. No, density doesn't change. But these are gases, so if what will happen? They will move, or they'll move much faster now.
Faster.
Will move much faster.
If they move much faster, what will happen? Will the ball experience upthrust or more upthrust?
More.
More
More
thrust.
upthrust. Okay, so obviously the terminal velocity will be same or reduce.
Reduce.
Okay, one more thing. Okay, even the coefficient of viscosity increases. Huh? When the temperature increases, even the coefficient of viscosity increases. Please remember this also. I have not explained to you this. I know this one I have not done it, but please remember this. Okay, the coefficient of viscosity. That means the resistive force increases. Okay, per unit area, per unit velocity gradient. Okay, it increases. That's the whole point. Okay, so please remember this. So when the temperature increases, the objects are not going to have same kind of motion. They will have reduced velocity. Okay, that is what this is all about. Okay, I'm done talking right now about this. then what else I need to do? I'll send you a numerical. Okay, did I complete Bernoulli's theorem with all of you guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
what have I not completed? Did I complete venturimeter?
Yes, sir.
Venturimeter.
Yes, sir.
But I did not give you notes on venturimeter, no? No. I will do that. I will do like this. I'll not take more today. I'll just finish the class right now. But I will start writing those numericals, and I have to start writing those notes. Then I'll send you today only. Okay. Next day, when do you want to meet, guys? Today is what date, right? I'm totally lost track of the days also. Date also. Today is 30th. Today is 30th. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow 31st. let's try to move to meet tomorrow morning. But before that, I hope so. I'll sit right now and make the notes. And I will send you questions. Please do that. Okay, tell me some chapters though, guys, which you need some more questions and all. From which chapter? Surface. Abhijit is saying surface tension also. Surface tension notes and viscosity that one, and then Bernoulli's theorem, Venturi meter. All these notes I'll prepare properly. I'll give you. Okay, but you have to study, huh? Okay, then tell me to some guys. Next day when we meet, okay. Hopefully, let's see tomorrow. Sangam has tuition tomorrow morning. What time you have Sangam?
11:30.
11:30. Saturday will be, no, tomorrow is Friday. Saturday will be first. No? First I will not take. No, tomorrow we can do like this. Tomorrow we can take around what time? Let's take at 5, no? Around 5? Tomorrow at 5?
Okay, sir.
Okay, no? Tomorrow 5?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for the timing? Okay, let's, I'll confirm it. Not free Manba? Okay, what time you are free Manba then tell me? Yes, Manba, you can tell us the timing? We can adjust. Before 12, okay, before 12 we have one problem, no? This, who is this? Sangam has tuitions, right? Leave tomorrow tuition. Okay, so we will leave tomorrow tuition. Then we can meet on Sunday. Sunday is 31st. First or second? Second, no?
Yes, sir.
Sunday is second. Sunday we can meet. Oh no, Sunday no. Monday. Let's meet Monday.
So Monday at what time?
Monday you all decide. Morning 11 also I'm fine. But we have to start a new chapter, huh? 10 a.m. is too early, Manba. I used to wake up late, no? Me also. 11 is fine, Manba. Monday. 11 for only 1 hour, okay? Yes. Only for 1 hour we'll meet. But let's decide the chapter, okay? Can I start thermodynamics?
Sir, can
Yes,
you
sir.
do thermal properties first?
Oh, thermal properties. Yes. I'll do that, thermal properties. In 1 hour, I think I will finish a lot of that. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Thermal properties, okay. So 1 hour, I will tell you what to study from there.
Sir,
Yes. Jyotima, yes?
the first chapter is short, no, sir?